My name is Anna. Did I find a secret in my hotel room? I came to the resort for a short rest. I had a reservation and a suite. The lobby was calm and bright. The receptionist smiled and gave me a key. A concierge helped with my bags. He was kind and polite. I trusted him and gave him a small gift. I felt safe and happy at first. But small things changed fast. He started to call me at night. He said small lies to me. I felt confused and a little afraid. I started to watch him and the staff. I saw a throwaway note that made my hands shake. I felt betrayed. I needed to know the truth. I will tell you what I found and how I fought back. My name is Anna. I arrived at the hotel in the afternoon. The receptionist checked my name. She smiled and said my suite was ready. The lobby had soft music and a coffee stand. I went to the concierge desk. A man named James helped me. He had a calm voice and a warm smile. He opened my heavy door and carried my bag. He told me about the free amenity and the complimentary breakfast. He said housekeeping would come in the morning. I felt cared for. I spoke with him many times. He told me where to eat and how to use the pool. He knew the best places in the resort. I liked his help. He made me laugh with small stories. I gave him a small thank you gift on the second day. He seemed surprised and happy. I thought he was a good man. I left my phone on the bed one night. The next morning my phone was on the desk. I thanked him. He said he found it by the lamp. Later that day I saw him speak quietly with the receptionist. They smiled and then looked away. I felt odd. I asked the receptionist about my reservation. She said all was fine. But my key card failed once. I had to go back to the desk. James swiped the card and smiled. I felt small fear in my chest. Why did the card fail? Who touched my things? I tried to forget this feeling. I told myself it was nothing. Yet a small paper with a note fell from my jacket. I picked it up. It had my name and a time. I did not write the note. I feared someone watched me. I walked slowly back to the lobby. I wanted to ask James about the note. I wanted to ask, but I did not know how. The story felt simple and safe, but I lived a strange secret. I was not ready for what came next. I woke early for the complimentary breakfast. The dining room had light and fresh bread. Housekeeping knocked and left a small note at my door. The note had a time for a spa appointment. I did not make any spa plan. I called the concierge desk to ask about the note. James answered and sounded calm. He said the spa had a vacancy and he booked the time for me. I did not ask him to book it. He said it was a kind thing to do. I felt strange. Later that day my reservation on a day tour changed. I tried to check out the tour on the resort app. It said no reservation. I went to the concierge desk. James looked at the screen. He said he fixed the problem. He said a small system error made the tour vanish. I felt the word vanish like a cold wind. Why did my bookings change? I went to the receptionist next. She checked the computer and said the system showed no error. I felt my heart beat fast. I said, "James, did you change my tour?" He looked at me and smiled. He said, "I help you. I want you to rest." His voice sounded sweet. I wanted to believe him. But small facts did not fit. My checkout time also moved earlier. Someone called housekeeping and asked to clean my suite early. My clothes were moved in the closet. I found a small box under my bed. Inside was a camera memory card. I did not put it there. My hands shook as I held it. I went back to the lobby with the box. James was at the desk. He saw the box in my hand. He said, "You must be careful. Some guests lose small things." The smile on his face felt wrong now. I asked the receptionist to see the hotel logbook. She said the logs were in the office. She looked nervous. I felt the hotel was small and secret. I felt alone. I wanted help, but I felt locked in the hotel. I thought of calling the police. I did not call yet. I wanted proof. I wanted to know the truth about James. I opened the memory card in my laptop. The photos made my stomach drop. They were simple hotel shots at first. Then I saw a picture of my suitcase. Then a photo of my face when I was asleep. My throat closed. Someone had watched me in my suite. I felt cold and afraid. I ran back to the lobby. James was not there. The receptionist looked at me and asked, "Are you okay?" I said, "Where is James?" She looked away and said, "I do not know." I felt trapped. I had a secret and the hotel staff looked like they hid it. I had to act. I had to be careful. I felt I would lose more than my things. I felt I could lose my safety. A kind person stood behind the desk. He had changed. I called the front desk and asked for the manager. The manager arrived with calm steps. He said they would check the security cameras. I felt hope for a moment. We watched the footage in a small office. The camera showed James in the hallway. He carried a tray and a friendly face. Then the camera showed him open my door. He used a key. He walked into my suite. He looked around and held my phone. He smiled at the camera. My mouth went dry. The manager said, "This is serious." He promised to call security. I felt a new sense of relief. I thought the truth would come out. But later, the manager said the footage had a gap. The clip stopped before James entered my room. He said maybe the camera had a fault. My hope broke like glass. I remembered the note that said a time. James had put the time on the note. I asked the manager to let me use the receptionist phone. I wrote a simple sentence and showed it to the manager. I wanted to call the police. He looked at me and said, "We will handle this. You will not need the police." His voice was soft but firm. I felt pressure. I could see his hands shake slightly. I asked him, "Why is James gone?" He said, "He is on break." The concierge returned later. He was not his old warm self. He avoided my eyes. He said he helped many guests. He said I should not worry. He said, "I am sorry for any fear. I will make it better." His words were quick. He kept asking me to accept a refund and a complimentary dinner. I said no. I said I wanted the truth. He stopped smiling. He looked small and angry. He said in a low voice, "If you make a big problem, you will lose your reservation and more." I felt fear in my chest. He knew my room details and my bookings. He had the power to change my reservation or cause a checkout problem. He could make my stay very hard. I thought of the word betrayed. James had been kind, but he had power. He used that power. He turned from helper to threat. I felt my voice shake when I said, "I will not leave. I will get help." He laughed softly and left the desk. I had a plan. I would not be silent. I had the memory card and the manager's weak promise. I would find more proof. I would use the lobby cameras, the housekeeping logs, and the reservation book. The hotel had many keys and many little doors. I knew the concierge and the staff had secrets. I walked to the housekeeping desk and asked for the log. A young housekeeper looked at me and whispered, "We do not keep all notes. He keeps some for himself." Her eyes were full of fear. She said, "He gave me money once. He asked me not to tell." I felt hope in that whisper. I felt the truth come closer. I felt ready to show the world what had happened. But I also felt the danger. He was not just a liar. He had turned into someone who used his kindness to hide bad plans. I had to be careful and brave. I left the resort the next morning with proof in my bag. I had photos from the memory card and a note from a housekeeper. I told the police and the hotel manager. The police wrote a report and promised to check the cameras again. The manager called me and said he would fire the concierge. I felt a mix of relief and sadness. I had trusted a kind man and lost that trust. I learned a hard lesson. Do not trust people too fast, even in a friendly place. Always check your reservation, your checkout time, and your room. Keep your phone and bags close. Tell the receptionist if you feel strange. It is okay to ask for help. I also learned to be brave and use simple words to tell the truth. For English learners, practice hotel words like suite, reservation, lobby, concierge, housekeeping, checkout, complimentary, amenity, vacancy. These words can help you in travel and safety. I am still kind, but I am careful now. I will help others and I will speak up. Thank you for listening to my story. Stay safe and learn new words with each story.